What is going on, X Community? Exo Stomp here, and today, people, we're going to be doing the week number 6 Mega Aggron Pickems, and joining me is going to be DDA.
Hello.
So, as you can see, I locked on DDA, and DDA didn't win, and then DDA locked on me, and I won. So, it didn't really matter though, because we both got 3 points overall. This week.
I just wanted to make sure he didn't get his lock correctly. Don't worry, man.
God damn it.
In all honesty, like I told you beforehand, but I mean, it's one of those things where it was a rough week. Didn't really have a lot of time, and I met Super Prip, and I'm like, hey, the one thing that would be a problem is if he did this, and then he did that, and I'm like, okay, but I have options for that. But then he made a 60% roll in my favor. It was only a 40% to hit me, or to kill, and he rolled it well, so we got that. And then my second out was immediately missing a move that would have made on earlier, because that end game was literally just Mon trading. Because every time Twice came out, I got a kill. But because there was an extra Mon, I was forced to sack Mon too fast, and I was basically down an extra Mon than I should have been. Also, Terra Fire Jolteon was really weird. It was specifically just like, the thing is that like I didn't Terra Rotom because I was like, oh, he's just gonna Terra Ice or something. So I Blizzard because I expected him to sub if he was gonna stay in, or to Volt Switch, right? And the fact that he brought Terra Fire for non-Terra Rotom made really no sense. So I think it's one of those options where when you bring the absolute weirdest set that makes no sense, but it works out, because why are you would assume that they would make the weirdest play ever? So it's all right.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen twice. You can only cheese. It's the same thing I've said to you. You can only really cheese someone once. Now, if it's someone that you won't play in playoffs, then who cares? You won. But if your winning strategy is cheese, you're not gonna be able to get away with it twice. So hopefully you got something else for playoffs.
yeah. I don't use cheese. Don't look at my cluster.
Definitely you don't use cheese.
Cluster, hide behind me.
Now you have a Zorak on your team for extra cheese.
I don't have that. I don't know what you're talking about. I just have 2 clusters. 2 clusters.
Sure. Alright.
But yeah. Alright. Let's get on to the matches here. We have Queen of Roses versus Chungus. Okay. There were quite a lot of upsets from last week. Queen
literally like through the God, that should have been as close as it was. Queen literally just delayed diffed. I remember during Pickems, we were like, yeah, your win con was playing delayed correctly, which arguably is your win con for every game. And we did it. So good for Queen.
Yeah, definitely. Saved me some points here.
Yeah, it's ironic because if you would have I would have actually gotten more points overall if you just went normal. But you're like, nah, I'm gonna take a risk on 3 teams, and those 3 actually made it through.
Yes, of course. That was my plan.
Clear.
Looking at this matchup here, I do like the Inteleon. I think Inteleon just clicks Ice Beam and Hydro Pump this game. The resist to that would be Samurott, and yeah.
Yeah, Chungus, this is funny because these are 2 teams that I voted against, because I was like, okay, you have 1 win con, you really gotta play this well, and then both of them played that well.
Yeah.
So, but when I look at this, matchup, right? Like Glade and Inteleon do look really good, but I don't really see what the Inteleon switching would be. I mean, I guess it has to be what? Terra Water Primate? And try to stack up Rage?
Yeah.
Is that the best shot here? Because I'm pretty sure special or it doesn't need to be maxed, but Eviolate with some HP primate probably takes 1 or 2 hydros. After Terra Water, you could fairly safely switch into most of Queen's Mons minus Magneton before Terra, basically. But Magneton is probably Terra anyway for Primate's answer. Probably Terra. Can't be Terra Ghost. This has to be Terra Flying. Probably your best bet, maybe. But so I see that really possibility. Gallade also kind of just clicks buttons here.
Yep.
Dodge Spawn is kind of Dodge Spawn and Moltres. Moltres is actually a really good answer for Gallade. But Gallade does get Rock Slide. So if you get out predicted once, it's unfortunate. But I do believe Max Moltres does live Rock Slides. I've been, for some reason, like, I've been seeing so many people run Max Defense Moltres to live Rock Slides. Like, against, like, across multiple divisions. Like, every time I'm like, oh, you just Rock Slide here. Nope, that doesn't kill. I'm just like, why does that not kill? That should kill.
Yeah, because, like, most of the
Moltres
time
is
you want to run
bulky.
speed, and it's, like, weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Chungus and a lot of other people have been almost exclusively using Moltres fully defensively,
Yeah.
which without Toxic is really interesting. But I mean, Moltres does get Roost, and it can still Willow, and I mean, it's got a good enough base special attack to at least decently threaten things. So I think it's definitely interesting. It will revenge kill Gallade. So that is something that Gallade has to worry about, where Gallade has to predict at least once before Gallade can stay in and click Rock Slide. So that is something that Queen does have to keep in mind. I do see Max Moltres being sort of a problem. As for Chungus, let's see. Does Samurott go ham here? Does he just click buttons? There's not too many switch-ins, but Serena and Floor probably just wall it pretty well together. Magneton before Terra could do a pretty good job as well.
Quillfish isn't bad against it either.
Quillfish isn't bad either. I will say though, Queen does not have the best answer to free spikes though. Especially because you never want to run a heavy duty boots Gallade or Inteleon really. So they'll probably take chip when they want to come in. Until like Mousehold or Goryeo comes in. But if you're like I've said before, if you're bringing Mousehold just as your hazard removal, it should not last at all. And I'm assuming Chungus will not sack his Rocky Helmet user, so he should be fine. Which, to be fair, Dodge Spawn Rocky Helmet seems pretty straightforward here. Honestly, you might even run double. You could run like Eviolite Gabite and basically do the same thing.
Yep.
Actually, Eviolite Gabite is actually not bad here. It's good Mousehold switching. It's his only ground type, so it helps against Magneton Volt switching. Not bad.
Yeah, Gabite definitely should come.
I don't know about that.
I think it should come, man. I mean, Earthquake hits really hard, and then, you know, you gotta...
Earthquake from the Gabite hits really hard.
Yeah!
You're trying to convince me right now. But okay.
Huh? What are you talking? Yeah, definitely. That's all I gotta say.
Alright, I guess. Regardless.
I think... I feel like this is gonna be a pretty close match.
I think it definitely can be a fairly close match for sure.
Yeah.
It really just depends on like what. I hate repeating myself, but it really just depends on if Queen plays her offensive correctly. Because if Inteleon or Gallade just gets sucker punched by something, not the actual move, but like the actual term, right? Sucker punched. I think that would be. I don't know if Queen has a comeback after Inteleon or Gallade did die. So that is a problem. But I do believe that Queen does have a good way of winning here, so I do think it's fairly close.
Yeah.
Who do you think is gonna win?
I shall go. Oh man, I do hope that Queen wins, but I think Chungus. I feel like. Chungus. I don't want to say has a better matchup because I don't really believe that either. I don't know. It's tough,
Just
but
gut feeling based off his tenure.
Yeah, basically gut feeling. Yeah, I'll go with Chungus. I'll just go with the. I'll go with a 3. I'll just keep it simple.
Yeah. You know what, Queen? You're technically on a winning streak, aren't you? Right? Queen's on a winning streak now, I think.
But how many wins? 2?
I know. I gotta check real quick. Plus I need points against you, so I have to vote a little bit differently. And, you know, it's just kind of how that works. Because Queen won. Yeah, I mean, after the loss. Oh, yeah, no, you lost to 2. Oh, no, Queen's not on a winning streak. Queen won her first game, and then her second win has been this week. So she went on a 3-week loss and then snapped back.
Maybe it's time to turn it around.
Possibly. You know what? You have Gallade. You have shown now that you can play Gallade pretty well, given the circumstances. So, you know what? I'll say Queen. But this is not going to be clean. This is like, I'll say 1-0, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I helped Queen with the team a little bit last week. Made sure, like, there were a few things that were very questionable.
You should do that again.
I might. I definitely have a few things that I could mention. But yeah, I think it helped, and yeah, I mean it showed. So Queen, congrats on your first win. Let's hope that you can get us a. I'm sorry. Yes, second win.
If you don't remember, she 6-0'd you.
I'm having flashbacks.
I know you're having selective memory right now.
I'm having flashbacks of me clicking grass cloister. Okay, just. The hell is wrong with me?
Selective memory right now.
Anyways, let's just go on to the next match. Here we have. Oh, hey. Speaking of, it's me.
Oh, hey.
I'm not confident about this matchup, but I wasn't confident about the last one, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're finally versing the second hardest team in our division.
Yeah.
Well, Terra Ghost looks like.
Yes, again.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, this team doesn't actually have a general weakness, right? Like
no,
I do believe it doesn't have a general weakness.
No, it doesn't.
But let's look at Cloister. Right? So, what is your main blockage for your stab? Vaporeon. Vaporeon is like the big glaring weakness here,
right? That
you have to try to break through, and Bronzong is secondary to that, right?
Right.
So, let's see. There's no way to break both of them easily.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if I mean, the problem is Vaporeon has absolutely nothing to hit you back. Like that's like the biggest thing here, right? Because like you just go Terra, because if you go Terra Grass, right, you also hit Sandy Shocks, so Sandy Shocks can't be a switch in,
right?
Which is why you wouldn't be electric, because Sandy Shocks would be a switch in. The problem is if you're Grass, right, Bronzong is still a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
And he would probably go mixed. I mean, what would be your best shot to hit Bronzong? I mean, do you need Water Stab this? I mean, you might need Water Stab for Delphox, because you can't just go. I don't think Terra Grass or Water or Ice School Spear breaks Delphox, so that's a problem. So the question is, what do you break Zhongerdonger with? That
Let's not think too hard.
that's gonna be a problem for you. Let's look at your secondary conditions. Zorak can beat Bronze Song. I don't think Zorak does not beat Maspidif though. Like you pretty hard. You actually don't really have a switch into stake out Maspidif either. That's probably gonna be a problem for you. Let's see. Quaxwell gets kind of pressured by Chestnut. Usually Quaxwell is your I say usually is your removal. And usually you want to have a good matchup against their setter. Most water types are given usually it's a ground type or a rock type or something, but his main hazard setter is either Jean, Chestnut, or Sandy. You're gonna get Sandy. Actually, you're not because electric, but I mean you can hit it kind of hard-ish maybe. But you don't touch Zong and you don't touch Chestnut very well, so that's gonna be a problem. Delphox is also unironically really good into your team. Like unironically, you don't have a good matchup against Delphox like at all. Typhlosion, ironically enough, is your answer.
Not
because
Quaxwell.
But Delphox is grass cover. I do believe it gets grass.
It could eat it, and then Liquidation does enough.
I don't know if it can eat it very well.
With a Violet Spadef Quaxwell, you don't think it could eat it?
I mean, it depends on if Delphox just. I mean, Delphox gets nasty plot, doesn't it?
I think it still eats.
It does, yeah. I mean, it might be able to kill you after it. I mean, it probably definitely. I mean, I don't think it eats it well, but
No.
I do think it eats it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it definitely
Liquidation
gets
would do
too.
enough.
Hopefully, I mean, it probably does.
I think I have like a few answers that like Quaxwell's
Yeah, but
my
that's
biggest.
the problem, right?
What?
Yeah, the Quaxwell's really pressured this game. Is
Right.
like kind of like the thing, right? Liquidation is doing about 50 to 68. It's doing 57 to 68 to Delphox. So you chunk it, but like that's not enough damage to where a little chip kills. So that is something to keep in mind. However, you're lucky because his grass coverage is grass knot and you're light. So so I think Psyshock will just do more to you.
That's fine.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's the problem here. You get 2 killed by Psyshock.
Mhm.
So that is another problem for you. So it actually doesn't even run grass coverage. It literally just says screw you and go Psyshock.
I mean, that's fine. I also like I have Mesprit. I have
I mean, you have Vesprit for its second cover. Like what I'm saying is that like Delphox is fast enough to be a hard switching, and like you're gonna have to devote materials for it, right? Like Quaxwell is gonna have to be able to take side shocks and specially defensive, and it's gonna do hazards. You might be forced to bring a Mesprit just to be a Delphox answer, like just like certain things like that. Like you may have to bring screens, which you do every week. So like it's just one of those things where Delphox forces a lot of prep, and that's not even including Sandy Shock's prep or offensive Mablistiff or whatever bullshit Chestnut does. I think the one saving grace you have is that Dark Crafter does not have a reliable physical breaker. He has kind of mixed breakers to where like they're not really breakers, they're more of like they hit decently as a tanky bomb. So that's kind of your one saving grace. But still rough.
Yeah. I have a few things. I mean, I already kind of prepped. I have a general gist. Like I have like 6 or 7 Pokemon that I'm kind of trying to fit. But yeah, I think this matchup is definitely gonna be one of the hardest. I know Darkcrafter knows what he's doing. He's prepped some crazy stuff for me before, and specifically made certain mons. Like I think it was
like a random mixed thing.
Yeah, well, it was like knockoff on a Salazzle for my Palpitoad. It's a Palpitoad, but it was
Okay,
good
well,
against
actually,
Salazzle.
I mean, that makes sense. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually really good prep. Like,
No, I'm saying
not
it's
crazy
good
prep.
prep.
Like that's just
I mean,
yeah,
crazy good, not like
yeah.
crazy bad.
There was I forget which matchups, but there was a matchup where I was worried about knockoff into. Actually, it was Salazzle. It was Salazzle into Knuckle Stack. I was 100% expecting knockoff to try to break it better, but since Knuckle Stack ignores Toxic's bullshit and it resists bulk stabs, the knockoff wasn't really necessary because it's still just hard wallet.
Does corrosion work into the ability?
Nope, it is type dependent. It can poison. Can poison types and steel types. But for example, corrosion cannot poison an immunity mod.
Okay.
No, it only ignores type immunities. Anything to do with your ability does not matter. So, Yakosak is literally the ultimate Salazzle FU. But yeah, so I don't think you win this game.
I don't either.
But I also don't think Darkrafter wins this cleanly. So I'm gonna have to vote for Darkrafter and hope that dear God he kills you. And we're gonna say it's a 2-0.
All right. I already wrote down what I thought for myself while you were talking. I wrote myself because I need to have some confidence, even though I don't have confidence I'm gonna win. Myself, I'm gonna give a 2-0 as well here.
Interesting.
I definitely think it's gonna be a closer game. I don't think I can just set up with Cloyster and win this game. It's kind of impossible. There's too many switches for it.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that.
Yeah, so
I would honestly be extremely surprised if you were allowed to kill more than 2 mons. Actually, I'd be surprised if you killed 2 mons. Like honestly, like the way that Darkrafter's team is set up, unless you like heavily play slowly, like unless you play like the absolute slowest with a Cloister team, which is unheard of. Like maybe arguably you could get away if you have both like screens and other bullshit up, but it would take a lot of setup, and I feel like Darkrafter's not gonna let you get away with that.
Yeah, exactly. So so 2-0 for me, and then you said 2-0 for Darkrafter. Alright, let's go on to the next one. Oh, look at this.
Me 4-0.
Oh.
Hey, just because I'm versing him doesn't mean I'm still not gonna vote against him.
Okay.
It just means that I'm the one who gets to decide if he wins or loses.
Yeah. I think the problem, like, I don't know. It's just like I feel like he brings the same exact 4 moves every week with Sableye. And yes, I know it has Light Screen Reflect, and that's good. Yes. And then you run Knockoff and Recover, which is fine. Those are great moves. The problem with Sableye is it wants to run like 7 other moves too.
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever seen him once use Encore or Willow or anything like
Taunt
that.
Or
Taunt, Thunder Wave.
Yeah.
This man is like, I want screens, and that is what I fought you for.
And I got a Stab Knockoff, and I got Rook. That's all I need.
Yeah, I'm glad I got Spiritomb back. I like, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that like, oh man, Spiritomb's a great fucking mod.
Yeah.
I'm actually really sad I didn't have it for last week's, because after I looked at Prepped again, I was 15-minute prepping, but I was like, man, I had Spiritomb here. He would have solved all my problems. Oh well, I got him now, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I won't talk too much about how I'm gonna try to win this game, but I will say is that I'm not that afraid of Bravery. I do believe every set he runs I can beat. Luxray though is going to be a little bit more of a pain. It's definitely beatable. It's just not going to be as straightforward.
Okay. I was thinking Braviary is actually better here, but I mean, you have a point.
No, so for a couple reasons. One, my team is naturally specially defensive.
Fair, yeah.
Just naturally specially defensive. Take your tongue, Slowbro with AV, like just because it's just so good on it. Toad Scroll's naturally specially defensive. Ronan Frost just doesn't have to have weaknesses and has 108 in both, or 107 or whatever. It's random 100 something move is for both defenses, so it's good on that note. And Narco Stack is both, but it almost is always running max special defense because with Eviolite it has a base 150 defense.
Oh, hey, look, Salazzle.
Huh. Maybe this was this team I was talking about.
Whoops.
It's fine. It's not like it's surprising. But yeah, I mean, Salazzle isn't a problem for me. It's the freest Narco Stack switching ever. Even without Eviolite, Narco Stack is still a pain, and it still beats Salazzle, like, hardcore. The only problem is after my knockoff, I no longer become... I mean, there's not really any special threats on his team after Salazzle Braver. I guess you could make an argument for Nasty Plot Toxic Croak, but, like, you really need to set up Nasty Plot. But you also don't have the speed to really get away with that, so it's like, maybe Specs a Zoom roll? Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, this is gonna be a really hard matchup for Ace. But if you want some advice, Ace, Luxray is probably your one win con, and you got to play it perfectly because it does not get recovery. You have no way of saving it or healing it, other than like lefties. But then you lose your guts. So play your cards right, and you should get at least some kills. But you're only getting 2 because I'm 4-0ing it.
No, I think you're gonna get 3 kills. DDA is gonna win 3-0. Alright, well, that's about it for that matchup. Let's go on to the next one, which is Chris Reed versus Crimfinite. So, first things first here. I'm a little surprised that Chris actually hasn't been doing well this season.
I mean, I think that's honestly just down to how he drafted this team. He drafted a team where half of the mons are high maintenance, and what I mean by high maintenance is you can't just go a simple build on most of them. Arguably, the only mods you could go simple on are Talonflame and Quagsire, maybe. But I mean, Quagsire even every match is going to be different too. So like I guess Electrode, but I don't even think he's brought it. But like a lot of these mons have like 4 different sets that are very specific for what they want to do, and none of them have a natural synergy, and they all have very specific ways they want to be played. Chris has actually used Altaria offensively more than I think he should be using it. I think Altaria is this team's defensive backbone. And I think he should be using offensive Talonflame more often. And I think he should be using his tools a little bit more flexible, when you have a team, when you are maxed out on Pokemon, and all of them have unique roles, like, your team building is what makes or breaks you, because you're taking a gambit. You're basically betting on the fact that you have enough mons to where you can counter any playstyle. But when you only do one thing for most of your games, that doesn't really do that. Because he's brought, I mean, I don't even think he's brought Terra Brute yet, has he?
I don't think so.
All this game. I think he is almost exclusively Terra del Terra every time. Which is dumbfounding to me.
And like at that point, I feel like Terra Talonflame would be better, because at least like you have the speed.
You have enough points. Literally, you have enough points at that point. Or Terra Meloetta, which is also like super scary, especially because it can go special or physical. Like, just think about that, right? Because with Terra, you could defensively check literally anything. While you Relic Song switch into a super fast, super physical hard hitting. And the one downside of Meloetta's physical has always been its coverage. It has really good coverage specially, but it has very little coverage physically. Terra makes that not a problem. I do believe this is the last week for transitions, so Chris, if you're watching this, take our advice. If you're not going to use Rootmon at all as a Terramon, which alone is already criminal, Please just switch it to Meloetta or Talonflame.
Yeah, I think both would be good, but let's look at the matchup now.
Yeah. Enough yelling at your team, as we do every week.
Yes.
So I still don't like Crim's team. Like, yeah, I just lost to it, but to be fair, I don't think I lost to it because his team was better. I think I lost to it because I made bad prep. So I still have the same opinions about the team as before. This is a team where he has to play super aggro to win the game. Chris should have an answer for all of his threats. I mean, let's take a look at this, right? Dragalge gets barely walled by like a AV Berserker or something similar, or maybe even a Meloetta, maybe like a defensive Meloetta with like Calm Mind could be a pretty good switch in. Cloudster Terra can be a problem for everything, but you know, if you're not Terra Grass, you just get hard rolled by Quagsire, which is a little bit of a problem. I don't think he won't go Terra Grass. I think Terra Grass is pretty straightforward.
And then Brute Bonnet.
No matter who. I mean, yeah, but Brute Bonnet. Well, Cloudster has Ice Beams. I mean, it can be a problem, and it's also got Aura Sphere, which is.
Oh, I thought you said Jolteon for a second. Never mind.
No. I was saying Cloudster, but to be fair, both his Terras want to go Grass, just for Quagsire, because neither one of them breaks Quagsire. Actually, Specs Cloudster, which I think he brought like most ways so far that he's played. I do believe that might break especially defensive Quagsire. Just because Water Pulse is a dumb move.
I mean, Water Absorb exists.
True. That's actually a good point, because I was thinking he might go Unaware for Terra Jolteon, but you're right, he could just go Water Absorb. In that case, then yeah, like Terra Grass is almost forced on either Cloudster or Jolteon, and if you don't go Terra Grass, you're kind of throwing to Quagsire, unless Chris just plays Quagsire bad, which he could. You could try to force Quagsire's HP early by bringing in Cloudster or Jolteon earlier and just trying to click buttons. Because realistically, you can only switch into a Grass move once with Grass Knot, but he can't really fight into Grass. So, or not Grass Knot, but like Terra Grass. So that could be a problem. Because what does Chris do if Jolteon is just Terra Grass sub Calm Mind with Terra Blast and Electric? What wall's that? I guess Brute Bonnet?
Yep, Brute Bonnet.
Yeah.
And Brute Bonnet actually looks really nice here.
Agreed. Terra Brute Bonnet looks great here.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah, please.
Please use it for once before you switch your Terra. Like, now, but what looks great here? Terra what?
I was just thinking, because it has close combat, I honestly think that it stabs plus close combat. There's not much that switches into it.
Funny enough, I think Leafeon kind of takes it pretty well. I don't think Leafeon comes to this game.
Yeah, I mean, if it comes, you just go, you go Talonflame, you go...
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously switch-ins, but, like, I don't want to see an offensive Brute Bonnet here. I really, really don't. Because Brute Bonnet is your only defensive switch-in for Jolteon.
Well, you could still go, like... I mean, just a random set. Like, you just go max HP, max attack with an AV, and you'd still tank Jolteon for days.
You could. I could see that. See, that's the problem with Brute Bonnet, right? Is that because of this team, you want it to go like AV or special defensive or whatever, right? But then you're put in this position where basically, like, I don't want to see AV because I want to see Spore, or I don't want to see AV because I want Synthesis on him.
Right.
Like I don't know.
Well, I will say, if he can get Brute Bonnet out into the Jolteon will probably click Volt Switch to get out and switch into a new Mon. You could Terra Ground and then kill it before it's able to Terra again or just get out, and then you can hit Dragalge even better as well.
Well, you don't want to go Terra Ground because it's probably Terra Grass Jolteon, right? So if it's Terra Ground, right, you actually just lose to Terra Grass.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the problem here, right?
I'm
I
saying like,
almost, man, like it's weird when I almost want to just see Chris like, I just want to see like half of his team be hardballs and the other half of his team be uber offensive. Like
yeah.
I just want to see Talonflame come in with banded Galwins and just fucking go ham. Force the Earthworm switch in. Force, because like Crim doesn't really have flying resists. It's Jolteon and it's Earthworm. Neither are taking Talonflame's hits, which forces Donphan to switch in. And Donphan doesn't want to switch in to Talonflame often because no recovery. So that's not a problem. And I think Talonflame easily can go mixed here. Like if Talonflame just goes like, honestly, you could just go special Talonflame here.
Mm-hmm.
And with like a Brave Bird just on top of you.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of do what you want here.
Yep.
It's man, it sucks because like I'm looking at Chris's team and I want to run like 12 different sets, and this is why I don't like running 12 months because there's too many options and none of them are guaranteed to work and none of them are guaranteed to be the best option.
Well, we're gonna have to make a decision. We've been on this team a while now.
You know what, Chris, I don't like your team. I'm voting for Crim, even though I don't want to because I think he has the worst team, or not the worst team, but I think he has the lesser of the teams. But I hate trying to figure out sets for you. I really hate it.
I mean, a lot of the sets you said though, they do work.
They do work, but you can't bring them all, right? So I mean, I guess you could theoretically bring them all, but I don't know. All right, I'll say Crim 1-0. I don't think it'll be clean.
Okay. I'm gonna put down Crim 4-0.
Okay. What are you voting for me for? Vote for Chris.
Huh?
I said vote for Chris.
Why?
So I have a chance?
Oh, you definitely have a chance.
No. If you vote the same thing, you could just cheat and vote for whatever I vote the entire
Okay, then let
time.
me say it first. I already had it written down for like 10 minutes.
Alright.
Here, next one. I'll do the rest. I'll do the rest first, okay?
Bet.
Alright, we got Marshy versus Cross... Oh god, it's gonna be hard. Alright. Oh.
The team that should win and the team that should not win, but is winning.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Have fun with this one.
Well, first thoughts is... Let's see. What are my thoughts here? Let's see, Samurott switch-ins include Chestnut, but Air Slash could happen. We did see in one of the divisions, I don't know if it was Marshy or not, but we saw in one of the divisions, it was Air Slash to counter the Chestnut. I mean, obviously it's a Terra, so...
I mean, yeah, Air Slash or Air Slash is like both really good against him.
Yeah.
Because they both get boosted. I still think it's ridiculous that they both get boosted.
Yeah, I think Air Slash is better, though, because if it's coming, it's going to be defensive, Chestnut.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, it depends on your set and Samurott. But yeah, probably it's going to hit more for Air Slash. But you really hate that accuracy miss.
That's fair, yeah. Besides that... Let's see. Let's see. Zoroark. Kind of gets walled by Meloetta, for the most part. So that's a pretty good switch in. The problem is, if, you think it's, I don't know, a Passimian, you're not going to switch into Meloetta right away, because close combat hurts. You probably switch into something like Mischievous or Azumarill, which then they get hit with, They could just be U-turn. I don't know. I kind of like Crossbow's team a little bit better here. I think Marshy's team... I think the Terras are what kind of is holding the team together. Because Kilowattrel and Primeape are amazing Terras, and the right Terras kind of just are game-winning. So, yeah.
Agreed.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I say this every week, but I love everyone's matchup in a cross. I love it every time. And then they throw somehow, and I don't understand how they continue to throw against this man. Like how does I don't get it. Who are you voting for?
I'm not throwing in a vote yet. I just want to get our thoughts out first, and then I'll do it.
Yeah. God, because what does Zorak beat here, right? Like Shadow Ball doesn't beat Meloetta, and Hyper Voice doesn't beat Meloetta, so Meloetta is just really good at this Zorak, right?
Yep.
Tatsugiri doesn't really do much this game either. Azumarill just hard counters. Simeon cannot really switch into Slowbro, even if he knocks off U-turns, whatever. Slowbro just ignores you. So does Donphan. Cool. Delphox. What's your switch in? Like, you're not beating Azumarill, really. That, you're just not. Sepsipper Azumarill just ignores you. Unless you want to go Electric Delphox, which then Donphan ignores you. So... Delphox tears out the Ray. Is this just Chestnut? I'm just Ooga Booga crit? I mean, maybe. What's the switch into Samurott? There isn't one. Chestnut, but Air Slash. All right. So I don't know. Nothing switches into Samurott. Everything loses to Donphan, Azumarill, Meloetta Core, plus Slowbro, and then Primeape and Kilowatts. You can just do whatever the fuck you want. So in that case, I don't know.
Yeah. So now I will say, the Steel conference is way harder to predict because everyone is 3-2, and then the other people are 2-3. So it's very hard to guess who's gonna win.
Ours. The Rock is starting to come that way too because I dropped a game that I shouldn't have, and other people started dropping games that they probably shouldn't have. So it's starting to become a little bit tighter in our division too.
That's fair.
Literally, you're only ahead by a game. Me and Darkcrafter are 3-2, but have an 8 differential, whereas Chungus with the same win-loss has a 3. Almost an entire game difference in differential. And then literally Chris is the only outlier. You and Chris are the small outliers in our division. And in Steel division, theirs is even closer because they only have 1 outlier.
Yeah.
Whereas we have 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the biggest difference here is the differential, because Steel's is even closer, because not only they only have 1 outlier, their differentials are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, the top 2 only has a 6 in differential, a positive 6, right? Whereas literally they have 5 3-2s compared to our 3, right? And all of them have roughly a game between most of them, right? They're 2-3s though, they're pretty close, other than Kyrax still needs to make up some differential. And then Arcadian's 1-4, so that's the thing too. Our side, Ace is still deep in differential hell. Queen could use some differential, Crib's not that bad, stuff like that. But regardless, it's close.
Yep. Yeah.
But
so
Marshy's number 1.
Marshy is number 1.
I'm gonna vote for Marshy. I don't care if I should wait for you.
No,
I'm not voting for Cross.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Cross, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, good, because I'm not voting for Cross. Sorry, Cross, but your team should lose every game that it plays. It should just be losing. And it's criminal that you're getting away with wins.
Yeah, I'll go with Cross, and I'll go with a... How far am I willing to go? I'll just go with a 2-0 and play it a little safer.
I'll say this is a 3-0 for Marshy.
Alright, next game. We have Aggron versus Mustang. So...
Ooh, interesting.
First things first, this Cyclizar is the kill leader for Steel Division.
What?
I don't know why. I mean, I see Terra, but still, I don't know why.
Is it allowed to just kill everything? I get Aggron has been winning it. Aggron has won games that he really, really shouldn't be winning. And I guess it's just Cyclizar diff.
Yes.
I guess everyone just forgets Cyclozar is Amon, and it just comes in with like, I don't know what his stats are. I don't watch his games, but I'm just assuming like Spec Draco every time it just gets a kill because everyone doesn't have a good fairy type.
Yeah,
Like, I
well,
have to assume that's what it is, right?
I mean, it's not gonna
Or
happen
maybe
this
Shift-Hero.
time.
Yeah, I mean, you got a Hatterene. Hey, Mustang, your team might actually have a good matchup this week. Let's go. Good for you. I still hate that bottom four, but
What do you mean bottom four? There's the GOAT. There's Persian? This Dunsparce? You drafted that.
yeah, and I immediately got rid of it after. I immediately said, "Screw that."
And then Satotl, the GOAT?
The
The real
model that
GOAT.
never comes to a game. This man has like arguably the like Mustang actually has the opposite problem that Chris has. He doesn't have enough mons to bring to games. Like literally, his top six is almost forced to come to almost every week. Persian can come in every so often. Go-Goat, if they have a ground type, that is just a problem because his top six does not take care of ground types. And that's really it. Luckily for Mustang, Budsdale isn't an offensive ground type, but it is still a problem. So honestly, Go-Goat might actually make an appearance, but it's gonna get completely destroyed by a Talonflame and other things, which is more of a problem. Honestly, if I'm Adrian, I'm bringing fucking Banded Mudsdale and just going ham.
Oh my god.
Is this the week that I vote for Adrian? Am I really gonna do that?
I'll make it
really don't
even
want
easier
to.
for you. I'm gonna vote for Mustang.
Hey, alright. Adrian, I guess I'm voting for you.
I honestly, I think, yes, there are like 6 or 7 bonds that Mustang can bring, like, should bring, but the problem is, those 6 or 7 are actually pretty good into Adrian's team.
Man,
Like, what?
it's fun when we repeat ourselves every week and it's still being proved wrong.
Alright, well, listen. I believe Mustang will be able to pull this one out. I know that, you know, it's a very tight race here, okay? They both won 3, they both lost 2, you know, so I think it's a very even matchup. I just think that Mustang, Mustang has the better matchup. Now, granted, you know, that's just my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, arguably Mustang shouldn't have even won last week. Solo threw really hard. But, yeah. Alright, yeah, I'll vote for Adrian. You know what? I think this is going to be a random blowout game. 4-0 Adrian. Screw it.
Okay. Random blow.
Not every game can be placed.
Actually haven't done 1-0 yet, so you know what? I'll go 1-0. I think it's gonna be closer. That's yeah, I think it's gonna be closer. That's why, not because I didn't vote 1-0 yet. All right.
You're like, I have to vote one of each every time.
I just feel weird if I don't get it. I don't know. There has to be at least a few in there, but here we go. Next one here we have Kyrak versus Arcade. Okay, well we're gonna skip this one, but
Yeah, unfortunately we have to skip it because it already happened and we already know what happened. But to be fair, I would have voted for Kyrak, so I'm glad that he won. I helped him make this team, and I'm really proud that he's like actually using his team to his fullest potential right now. It's making me happy.
I mean, hey, you're showing him why it's a good team. I don't know what he was doing before.
I'm like, hey, buddy, all right, so you do this, this, and that. All right, does this, this, and that. Wins. Cleanly.
Yeah. So
I just love it. It's nice.
yeah, and if he does win his next one, he's making playoffs, right?
It's actually depends on the other teams because his differential is still really bad. So he would probably lose any tiebreakers so far. So I do believe he has to win both weeks to guarantee himself in the playoffs.
Well, he won this week, so he'd have to win the next week because there's
Oh,
only.
you're right. You're right
Yeah.
because he won this week. So yeah, Yeah, because he's, let's see, he was -7, so now he's -2. So he's still lower than the others currently for the most part. So if he has to win to make it in for sure, obviously, because that would also just guarantee him in. But yeah, so if he wins, he's basically guaranteed. If he loses, he's probably not in. I do believe that is how it works right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's probably some like wishy-washy people losing when they shouldn't kind of shenanigans, but Kyrak is like there's 5 people with 3 and 2, and 2 people with 2 and 3, and he is at the bottom of all that list. So he has to, like, he won this match, so he's now tied. Assuming Crossbow wins, well, actually, even if Crossbow wins, he would be higher. So yeah, he literally would still be at the bottom of 3 2s. So it really just depends on how bad people lose this week.
Yeah, I think the bare minimum is getting 4 wins. That's the bare minimum. Your differential
if he gets 4 wins, he's probably in it.
Yeah.
Not guaranteed though. Like it's definitely not guaranteed for him though. It's just probably it.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the last match. We have steering versus solo. Okay. All right. So this one's actually gonna be quite good. Yeah, the second and third seed, which is pretty nice. Both of them have been doing pretty well, obviously. Steering did tell me, he's been a little annoyed that he's been losing so much, but he only lost twice, so I don't know what.
Yeah, well, the thing is that he lost twice. It's funny. Both these teams are on a 2-game losing streak, so one of these teams will become a 3rd-game losing streak.
Oh no! All right. Okay. Well, I will mention it every time. Gallade kind of goes in.
Gallade does go in. Solo does not have good switch-ins.
No.
Toro still dies to even intimidate. Sharpie Psycho Cut still 2 kills.
Oof.
So that's a problem.
Yo, there's a Masquerade though. Hold up.
That still dies.
There's a Santa Con. Well, no.
Leaf Blade. Not even including Terragalade. So this is gonna be it. You know what I really want to see? I really want to see Adrenaline Orb Gallade with like Sword Stance.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Adrenaline Orb Gallade with Sword Stance, because Gallade comes in, clicks Sword Stance on the Tauros or the Masquerade switch him, and gets the +1 and just sweeps. Like, yeah. I don't think there's a switch it to +1 Gallade after that. And if he tries to switch out to do shenanigans, he just +2s again on the switch it back.
Sturdy Magneton.
I mean, that actually is Solo's only plan. Steering just needs a single hazard on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I think Steering wins this. They've both been losing, but I think Steering wins this.
You know, it'd be funny.
What?
If I voted Steering.
That would not be funny.
No, I'll let you vote Steering. I think
You have points to lose.
I have points to lose, but the thing is, you have to make the risky decision at this point. I don't have to. I'm being nice here. I'll go riskier, okay?
Hey, it's better content if you go riskier.
That's true. Very, very true. But I mean, Solo definitely has a chance. I think there's gonna have to be some very low kicks hits hard with priority, so they could always revenge kill if need be.
True. That's the one saving grace there. Low kicks could revenge kill, so Glade can't just fully sweep, but It's still gonna be a big problem.
Yep. That being said, I'll go with a 2-0 for Solo. I don't think it's gonna be clean at all, but I think he's going to win.
Alright. Did I say how many points for steering or no?
No, not yet.
We'll do 3-0.
Okay. Alright. And that is the Mega Aggron Pickems.
We got a lock first.
That is right. That is not the Mega Aggron Pickems. We're still going.
Don't worry. I'll remind you every week.
Yes.
This is rough because I was gonna lock on Kyrak, but he played his game too early.
Yeah, what the?
God damn it. Fuck.
Hmm.
And the only other matchup I'm confident is my own, but I can't lock on myself.
I mean, you could.
No, it's against the rules.
Okay.
We've already gone over this.
Alright.
Fuck it, I'll lock against Martian. That's probably the second closest match that is somewhat confident in.
Alright. You know what? I'll make it interesting. I'll lock for Crossbow.
One of us is guaranteed to lose a lot.
Yes, let's go.
Content, let's go.
Please, Crossbow, please.
Marshy, I swear.
Leave it to Marshy to throw though. So.
True.
But yeah. Okay. Did I forget anything? Are we good now?
No, you're all good now.
Okay, good. So that's the Mega Aggron Pickems for week number 6. Next week is going to be the last week for regular Pickems, but then we do playoffs. Those obviously will not take as long because they'll only be... I can manage counting. Hold on. 4 games that we have to go over. And
yeah, 4, 2, and then 1.
Yeah. So
I think it would be interesting, just for those who are still listening, I think it'd be interesting if we did playoffs an entire bracket. I think if we did like, we have to think who's going to win the entire tournament. And we have to like see how close we get for like all the way through the bracket predictions. I think that would be interesting.
Okay.
So we have to predict what quarterfinals does, and then we have to be like, all right, these two, we think these two are going to win. Now, who do we think is going to win between those two? Regardless if they win or not. Just to see how close we can get all the way through.
Maybe I'll make another slide for that. That requires more work, but we'll see.
If you guys think it's a fun idea, comment down below. That's what you want.
I have a lot of comments.
Exactly.
It's a ghost town down there. I don't know what you're talking.
So you gotta give them something to say,
Alright, so down below, also let us know what is your favorite type of soup.
I hate soup.
As you can see, DDA does not like soup. Please roast him in the comments down below. Give them more things. But yeah, guys, that is it for this week, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.